Hi, good evening. Lamin Fofana again. I'm back with my second video for today, the 3rd May 2013. This time around, I'm going to look at a very important function called flash fill. Okay, flash fill is a newer function in Microsoft Excel. It came to being from 2013. Okay, so it's very useful for the following purposes. One, to separate the content of different texts, like the name from the surname, so that they are in different columns. And two, with flash fill function, you can easily concatenate or join, the contents of different cells into one cell. Okay, so before 2013, text to column function was used to separate the content of the contents of a cell into separate columns with a delimiter. Okay, for example, in this case, if you want to separate the name from the surname, you have to use text to column functions with a comma delimiter. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to go about this so that we can compare the two different methods and feel the difference. Okay, so yes, so that's the flash fill. The flash fill works just like a flash, as the name implies. Okay, and it fills, the pattern from the previous adjacent column. Okay, so that's the way it works. Okay, so but before I show you how to use the flash fill, I would first like to show you how we've been doing it previously, using both the the text to column function and then also the concatenate function. Okay, so first, I have my names here. Okay, I have my names here, which consist of the surname and the name for each of them. Okay, so I am going to separate these surnames and names in each cases into different columns. Like, for example, I want the surnames to appear on column G. I want the names to appear on column H. So I'm going to do this using the older method of text to column function. Okay, so I first highlight my data that I want to separate. Then I go to the data menu. Then I use this text to columns function. Okay, so once I click on text to column function, a window like this will appear. Look at this. Let me go down a bit. Okay, I'm not seeing. Oh, sorry. Okay, so right. So this is what's going to appear. Let me try to position it a bit. Okay, you're right. So I'm seeing it. I have to move this. Okay, correct. So text to column functions now is asking me whether I'm going to separate using a delimiter. That's using a delimiter. Delimiter means something that will easily separate them, or I'm going to use fixed width. For example, let's say I want to separate after every 4 letters and so on and so on. But I want to separate using a delimiter. So I just click on delimiter. Then I click on next. Then what is my delimiter? My delimiter is a comma. So just click on a comma. You can see clearly here, they've been nicely separated here. Then I just say next. And you can see this is going to be the view. When I'm done, then I just say finish. So once I say finish, you see it has been separated between surnames and names. Okay, so how many steps have I gone through? So many steps, and it wastes a lot of time. Now, let's do this process using a flash fill. Okay, so I'm going to copy the same data here. copy. Then I'm going to paste it here. Now, I'm going to use a flash fill function to separate the surname from the name. Okay, so to use the flash fill function, the first rule is wherever you're going to ask Excel to do the flash fill for you, must be a column immediately. So it must be a column preceding the column that has got the data. Okay, so in this case, we want the flash fill to start from column G. So our data is in what? Column F. Okay, so you need to obey that rule. So now what you do is there is no formula to use, nothing complicated, easily. So what you will do is you will just try to type the first one. That will be your first pattern. And when you go to the next one, you start typing, Excel is going to guess how you want the rest to be done. Okay, so first one, I say Scott, S-C-O-T-T. Okay, I type Scott. Okay, that's the surname only. Then I go to the next one. So next one should start with town. Okay, so I say T. Once I type T, look at what Excel has done. It started guessing. Okay, so since the first, the one on top was just the surname which was here, so immediately I type T, is guessing. Okay, so that means town here. So it has brought the surname here. It has brought the surname here in this case also. Hodgson surname again, Maloney surname, Tussi surname. So what you need to do is just to enter. Once you enter, flash fill has done it for you automatically. So you see this sign, this icon is the flash fill icon. So you can just go to the same thing and then do the same for the surname. So if you don't want to type, you can just come here and select inside this cell and say copy. Once you copy, you come here, exactly here, and then say paste. Okay, once you say paste, you come here and then start typing games. Okay, G-A-M-E-S. Okay, so once you type games, this time around it's not coming automatically because the cell before it doesn't have any games in it. Okay, so what you should do is you should press Control E. Okay, if you press Control E, that will bring the rest. So Control E is a shortcut for flash fill. Okay, so once you type Michael, you type games, then the next one just press Control E when you are on cell H17. Once you press Control E, the rest will come automatically for you. So you see, Hans has come, Stanley has come, Kevin has come, and Stanley again. So look at this. This is very cool and very fast. You don't have to go through all this cumbersome procedure, going to data menu, trying to look for text to columns, you know, and all this. So that's just so cumbersome. Okay, so don't you like this? I think this is cool. Okay, so let's look at a situation whereby we want to combine. Okay, we want to combine. Let's say we have the surnames and the names. I'm going to copy this. So I'll bring it down here. So I just say paste. So I'll have my surname. Then I'll have my name. Okay, so let's say we want to put these two different columns into one column. For example, instead of saying Scott Michael, we're going to have Michael Scott. This time around, we're going to start with the name first. Michael Scott, Games, Town, and so on. So, like I said, we could use a function called concatenate or join or the AND function to do this. So let's go. So we can just come to, we can even start from here. So we say equals, yeah, we say equals concatenate, CONCA. So you have the concatenate function. Okay, so the first text is this, comma, and then the next text is this. You close your bracket, you enter. Okay, once you enter, see the concatenate will do this for you. You replicate. So this is the way you can use a function called concatenate. Okay, but in a situation where you need to use the flash fill, you don't have to remember this big terminology called concatenate, but you only have to know how to use your flash fill function by just coming here, okay? By just coming here and type equals. If you want, you can start with the heading, so name and name. Okay, so let's say we want to start with the name and the surname. Okay, so we can say equals, no equals, sorry. We say name, N-A-M-E. We have space, S-U-R-N-A-M-E. We enter. So once we enter, we go to the next cell. Okay, so we start typing MIC. How beautiful, look at this. So it has brought Michael Scott, James Hans Plummer, Stanley Hudson, Kevin Mellon, Stanley Hudson. Beautiful. So what you need to do is just to enter. This is great. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click on the subscribe button to get more and more video from me. Thank you and have a great evening. Bye-bye.